I should have set this all up earlier, but I didn't decide I would be streaming until just now. Not wanted to click. There we go, that works. So, yesterday's stream, direct video, got banned because it got copyright claimed, which, I mean, is totally in their right to do because it was playing their music. I just should have thought about that before I streamed and done all music that wouldn't get me copyright claimed, you know? But, so I fixed that, so now it's all gonna be copyright-free music so that I do not get in trouble with the YouTube gods. Taking just a second to hook up my tablet here. And I'm not sure what I'm going to be working on today, just that it's going to be stuff for my short comic that I'm working on. Well, short is a relative term, because I'm not sure entirely how long it will take, but I know roughly how many pages it will take. So I think I'm gonna work on, oh boy. I started this drawing like a month ago, and it's okay, but it's not very good. So let's make it look more like this page. I believe I was getting this. This is no, it's really small. This. This looks a little weird. Oh, I'm a doofus. I should share this, this link. You just post this link up real fast. can't think of what shape to put his mouth in, and I don't like this sketch. That's better. His face still looks so dopey. Oh, now that I think about it, I think I used blue for this whole thing. Not a dark green. Eh, whatever. Won't matter that much in the final picture, but still. I mean, I don't have a huge following online, which is fine, so I never really expect too much. And his hair is kind of... I'm glad I picked that other drawing for this one. This is actually a preliminary sketch for an assignment, but now that I'm looking back on it, I'm glad my professor told me to go the other way with my other sketch, because that one was better, just objectively. I'll fix the rest later. Zoom out. So, yeah, feel free to ask any questions and I'll do my best to answer them. Just some preliminary info. I'm using Clip Studio Paint as written up here. And I am using a Huion 1060 Plus tablet, which works pretty well. Just a pro tip, make sure you have the correct driver installed on any tablet because it will screw you up. Ooh, his forearm is long? I'm not sure if that's the right size. It looks a little stiff. I'm gonna just erase the whole thing. Yes, I am in college right now. Well, technically right now I'm on break for the next week. But, yeah, I am in college. I am an illustration major, which is the best decision I could have made, ever. I tried being a language major and learned Spanish, and I was very bad at it, and I hated it. So, yeah, it's a good thing that I changed and decided to be a illustration major. I cannot figure out his arms. I think they look close, but gonna do it's a little better. Next. I'll move this up too. I think that might also be the problem. Yeah, that's rough. Are you in an American high school or somewhere else? I don't know. I have a lot of people following me from everywhere, so I mean, the only advice I could give would be for an American high school. Come on. There we go. Don't worry about it too much, though. I mean, yeah, high school's important, and it's important to pick things that you'll enjoy and that you won't fail. But at the same time, like, once you get into college, your high school GPA does not matter. So, and I feel like it's more important what, like, extracurriculars you decide to do rather than what electives, unless you like go into college for that thing, you know? Because I took art for 4 whole years in college in high school, and that really influenced me in deciding to take art in college because I really missed it, and I was like, "What do you mean? I can't take art classes, these advanced ones, without being an art student?" So I was like, well, guess I'm becoming an art student now. So really just, it's probably best to just go with your gut feeling about what electives you want to take. You're almost certainly going to be forced to take gym at least 1 year. I think they actually changed some of the rules about being forced to take gym now, though. Back when I was in high school, you had to take it, at my high school at least, you had to take it as a freshman for the whole year, and then you didn't have to take it anymore. So there's that. But yeah, you're probably going to be forced to take gym, and I can only say I'm sorry. But college is a lot better than high school, so there's that. Just if you find yourself in high school and you're like, wow, I hate this, one, know that you're not alone because everyone else hated it too. And two, know that as long as you get into college, everything will be so much better. Just loads better. I would not go back to high school if I was paid. Actually, I take that back. I might go back to high school if I was paid a whole lot, but only because I'm poor. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just leave it at that for line art. I got everything else pretty much. It's not how our final design goes either. This one changed it a bit. So I'm gonna do eraser and eraser. Erase that. Yeah, middle school's pretty bad too. And as an 8th grader, you're almost through it. Yeah, college is good. Definitely go to college. If you listen to one thing I say, make it be that you go to college. Yeah, I think that looks better. Yeah, I feel like that looks pretty good. straighten this a little bit wider. Scooch this over here. Hold on, I'm going to scooch this back. There's a lot of different ways to add texture to pictures. The way I usually do it is I go in with the layer on overlay, which I just selected over here, and then I like to get a brush with lots of texture in it already. Like my particular favorite is this one called the Running Color Spray. And then I pick color that I want it to do with overlay. If you pick a lighter color, it'll make the image lighter. And if you pick a darker color, it'll make the image darker. I mean, when I say that out loud, it sounds really obvious and stupid, but it does help to be thinking that way. So I like to go in and just add some texture this way, or looking up. Come on, my thing is stuck. My thing got stuck on the dropper tool. Awesome. Hold on, I'm gonna... Right. My Alt, there we go. My Alt button got stuck. And it got stuck again. Why is my pen, there we go. That was really weird, and I don't know what happened. But yeah, I just go in manually. Sometimes I Google it. So sometimes I Google textures free, and then I just copy and paste the image over and set the layer to overlay. But there's a bunch of ways to add texture. I think the best way to like learn how to do it effectively is to go and experiment on your own first, and then you find the way that you like it the best. And over time you like develop your own special like texture effects. I don't know any colleges to recommend because I'm not actually going to an art school. I'm going to just a regular college with a really good art program. Honestly, since you got a 4-year scholarship for any college of your choice, that's really good, and I'm jealous. I would say going to one of the higher, like SCAD, I hear is really good. Micah, my best friend, is going to Pratt, which is in Brooklyn. That one's pretty good and like very well acclaimed, and especially all the ones that I just listed are like 50 grand a semester type schools. So if you got a 4-year free ride, definitely pick one of those, because you'll definitely get like the best. Well, I say definitely, but I don't know because I haven't gone there. But they have like the highest ratings as like art schools. They're very prestigious. Yeah. Ugh. I am honestly very jealous that you have a 4-year free ride. That sounds amazing. And although I am personally kind of lucky because my school is fairly cheap anyway, but that's because of subsidiaries and people donating a lot. And I didn't want to be on overlay. I want to be on this layer. Actually, wait. Just now, right? Okay. I'm same with this layer. Okay, that was getting annoying. Okay, so I'll use these for base colors. I think I'm just going to do a fast painting with this one. The good thing with having the references already here, I can just color pick. I got a bigger brush. I first started drawing, like, you know, when I was a kid and all that. And it is kind of the, you know, I've been drawing since I was how old, but yeah, I really have been drawing for forever. And I was just one of those kids that kept drawing, whereas like other kids would stop. And really that's the only thing that like kept me from going insane in school was drawing, because I am very ADHD and I have a lot of trouble paying attention in school, especially if I'm not doing something with my hands. Like I found that doing, like, when I'm in church, I do needlepoint and embroidery. I will draw sometimes in church, but I find it's more fun to do like other things that I don't normally do as well. So like church is my specific time to do like needlepoint and embroidery. And then in school, like when I'm in class, I'll doodle and draw in my notebooks, and it's a great way for me to keep my mind active enough that I can actually pay attention instead of like starting to zone out, which I will do if given the chance. So I need to like stop myself by keeping myself occupied with drawings, and I don't know, it really helps me pay attention, and I actually like have been able to prove that I do better in classes where I'm able to doodle than in classes where I just have to sit there and stare at the teacher. Oh man, I feel you on state testing. I hate it when I can't draw on the tests. Yeah. But I like really specifically got into thinking about art as a career in I would say high school. I got into art as a hobby in middle school. That's when I started thinking, okay, I really, really want to do art a lot. High school is when I really got into thinking, yeah, this is when I want to do for like ever. And I actually felt like good at it. I did homeschooling for 1 year in middle school and I hated it. So props to you for being able to do it. Yeah, there's a lot of things I love about art, and people are always like, oh, what do you like the best? And I'm like, it's so hard to decide. Like, I really like every medium, really. I love watercolor, especially. Watercolor is probably my favorite besides digital. And I've been wanting to do like watercolor videos. I just need to find a good video camera. Yeah, watercolor's the best. And I like doing just ink and watercolor. I used to love acrylic, and then I had to do it for class in high school, and I was like, oh, I actually hate this. So I don't touch acrylic anymore unless I am forced to in class. But props to anyone who can do acrylic and actually likes it. This is just going to be a painting, so I'm not really caring about being super good. Actually, I'm not even sure this will be a painting. This will be more like a sketch, almost a painting. A sketch for a painting. Because, again, this is all concept work. Actually, I say again, but I don't think I've said it in this video, that this is concept work for my short story. Huh, well, good luck. Digital, I feel like, is both the easiest and the hardest, because it can be really forgiving sometimes, but then other times you have to think almost in a completely different way from traditional art. So it can be really easy, and then it can also be just murderously hard. So, good luck! When I put them together like this, they don't really sync up too well, but more painting is needed, that's all. I don't even care about blending it too much either, really. Yeah, I have been using Clip Studio Paint since 10th grade, I think? Yeah, I'm pretty sure 10th grade. Yeah, that's when I started doing, basically right before I started doing speed paint is when I got Clip Studio Paint. So whenever that was. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I really love this program a lot. And it's been almost a year since I bought the EX version. And if you have like 20 bucks to spare, sometimes they have sales where you can buy the EX version for like 20 bucks, I think. Even 50. But it's so worth it. Like, even if it's $50, go for it. Because I feel like it's a little bit expensive, the EX version, normally. It's like 200 something, I think. So when I upgraded it from Pro, I had to pay 160 bucks. And I kind of wish I'd waited until there was a sale, but like, I really wanted to use it to work on projects. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. It is worth it, I feel like, but if you like don't have the money, buy the EX. Yeah, I had Psy for about a year before I was like, nah, I'm good. Cause I had the bootleg version, and it was the kind that like you really couldn't do anything on it. So yeah, I feel like this has all the best qualities of Psy without having any of the worst ones. Okay, I'm doing way too much focus on blending his face right now. I got his reference right here. Oh, there's a dog. His name is Scooter. I think I love him. Anyway, yeah, I didn't really like Psy. Props to anyone who uses it and really uses it well. I think my best friend still uses Psy a lot. I haven't checked with her about what she uses anymore. But yeah, there's a lot of artists who use Psy and swear by it, so if you like it, props to you. But I don't know. I like the brushes, but that's it. Yeah, although I think you can do that in Psy, but again, I wouldn't know. I haven't used it since like 9th grade, maybe 10th grade, right before it. No, I used Fire Alpaca for a couple months before I got this. You can tell I'm getting old because I can't remember what software programs that I had in what order. I used to be able to like recite it, but now I can't. I want a cat so bad, but I don't have the money for one. In fact, just the other day I was like, I really want a cat. If I can find a cat, I might get it. But then I looked on some, there's a shelter like 4 blocks from my apartment, and I looked up all the cats, and there was this gorgeous black cat, and just, I looked up the adoption fees, and I was like, oof, I don't have $50 to spare even on a cat that I would love so much. Well, there's also the issue of I would have to see if my apartment would even allow me to have pets. And I would have to get, what's it called? Permission from my roommates, like an agreement saying, yeah, you can have a pet, we don't care. And I think my apartment complex would allow it as like the grounds of saying it's an emotional support animal, but I would first have to buy the cat, and that's kind of hard for me at the moment. Okay, now time for hair. I love cats so much. I love cats and dogs equally, actually. I can never decide if I like one over the other. I love them both. There is no cat or dog. It's cats and dogs. I think I would get... I'd probably get one of each just because I love them so much. Why did I pick that color first? Oh, it is the same. Right? This is a better reference picture up here. Although it kind of creeps me out. Let's just stick over here. Yeah, that's the stuff I did in the stream last night. So if you're like, when the heck did she do this? That's when I did that. No, he is based off a brown trout. Which I think is related to salmon. I don't know that much about fish. There are probably 40 bajillion other people you could ask about fish who would know more than I do. Yeah, now that I've colored him, I like this drawing a lot more. I wonder if you can hear the movie my roommates are watching through the door. Because if you are, I might get copyright claims on it, even though I'm not the one listening to it. It's my roommates, I promise. At the moment, I just started like last night watching season 2 of Unfortunate Events, which I know is probably going to make me cry or scream because, oh, that's good. the first season, I definitely got so mad at one point. I yelled in my parents' house. And they were like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm just so mad." Oh, it's very good. Especially if you've read the books. It's very good. I think I read all the books. I was like 12 when the series ended, I think. Maybe a little older than that. So I vaguely remember, well, I actually remember the first like 6 books fairly well because I reread them a lot as a kid. Those are the ones we had in our house. Wrong layer. And then my whole family, me and all of my sisters and my mom, we listened to them on audiobooks. Oh, I have the Arcana. Don't buy anything on it though. It's not worth it. The prices are not worth it. Just wait. Do the tarot thing and you get the 5 coins a day. Do that. I literally bought like 3 of the books doing that. I have not spent a cent on the Arcana. And I've bought 2 of the books and one of the options already. Oh, the Beatrice letters. I think after the show is finished, I'm going to look into that book series. Because I still have so many questions. Either I wasn't paying enough attention to the books, which is very probable, given that I was like 12 or younger when we listened to them. Yeah, I should really check into... I should like at least read the Wikipedia page or something. I'm sure there's a wiki. Fan wiki. I'm sure there is. There's fan wikis for everything. So I'm sure there's something for it. And I need to read it over. I still don't like the shape his mouth is in. Yes, Patrick Warburton. If you said to me before the show, Patrick Warburton is going to play Lemony Snicket, I would probably laugh my butt off. But I haven't seen Esme's yet. I'm still only on the 2nd episode of the 2nd season. Although I'm just starting the 3rd one. I just got out of Proof Rock. Yeah, I definitely remember that. I remember there were things that you just never told us, but I couldn't remember if he just... Most of the questions I have were if they were like, "Oh, you just didn't tell us," or if I just wasn't paying attention. Oh, do not spoil anything or I will block you. I kind of know what happens from the books and just, the general gist of the show. It's going to be bad, but I have to. 12-year-old me would kill me if I didn't. Okay. Wrong one. She's got a very cool color scheme, and he's got a very warm color scheme, so they kind of clash a little bit when they're in the scene together. But that's what effects are for. Like, wow, especially when you put her hair against the green and blue of the background, it really shows how, like, purpley I set her hair, too. Yeah, it is meant to be contrasting, but there should be a little more harmony between them than the colors I have down so far. Yeah, this is what happens when I design characters independent of each other instead of thinking how they look as a cohesive whole. Although, I did design... Okay, so his name's Gethin, her name is Agnes. I designed Gethin with a different character's design in mind. Not Agnes's, but a different one. So he works well with another character that I've drawn, but not well with Agnes. Not yet. Usually I try to pick some theme, or some... Well, it kind of depends on what I'm designing. If I'm designing a character that I've already kind of like doodled before and I want to get like a concrete design, then I'll pick the things I like about the things I've already doodled. Like Agnes, I'd already kind of just doodled her for a class assignment like almost a year ago. No, I'd say like 6 months ago. Anyway, I doodled her and it was just kind of like spur of the moment. I was like, okay, her hair will look like this. And then it wasn't until I started thinking I want to actually make a story out of this and have her be a recurring character that I thought, okay, so I want to keep this good thing about her design that I like. Like, I liked the way her hair is sort of wavy, and I liked her general face shape. And her thick brows. I really like thick brows. If you can't tell from watching, I don't know, all of my YouTube videos, I really like thick eyebrows on female characters and on male characters, but especially female characters. Because there's this like stigma against having thick eyebrows, which I don't understand because they're gorgeous. Like I said I would stream yesterday, but yes. So yeah, when I'm designing characters, usually first I do like line doodles similar to what I have like up here. I'll do doodles like this to try and figure out the design. And I like doing full body ones like this so I can get a hang of their general posture and their general outfits. Blake, I will block you if I have to. Don't make me do that, man. Seriously, there are children in this stream. Back to character designing. There are... Ooh, I don't think I get overboard with lore, but I'm definitely tempted to. My first story that I made in high school, which I still need to work on, but like I've kind of shelved it for now because it's a very ambitious story that I'm not like happy with just yet. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep it shelved until I feel I can do it justice. Anyway, that one has like a full on like other dimension and like a whole deity system and belief system and magic system. And I could go on and on and on about the lore of that. Just, there's like no end to stories I could come up with. Even just in that setting, like not even the characters. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know that feel. Yeah, I'm happy with what I painted down now. What is on this line? Same here. Did I combine? Okay. Something got combined along the way that I didn't think about combining. Anyway, close on this layer. And yeah, the best thing, when to go back to designing characters, the best thing to think about is how none of them, nothing's concrete until you put it down on the final page. You know? I mean, it's good to think about, okay, this one will be concrete and I won't change it. But, like, sometimes you just have to pick a thing and run with it until you can think of a better idea. Which is basically how I got through, like, the whole, basically all of high school, really, with my art projects, was just run with something until you can think of a better idea to fix it. Oof, I would try to stay away from stories that link mental illness to bad magic. At least in a way that it's like causing mental illness, because that can be very hurtful to people with mental illness. To like hear it implied that obviously you're not like saying that all mental illness is caused by bad magic, but I think it's just a good topic to stay away from. Because, like, it didn't work for Rise of the Guardians, so I feel like there's better ways to work on having monsters in your story and magic in your story than to say you need to stop these monsters because they cause depression, you know? But I don't know, I mean, you write what you want to, and either people will like it and read it or they won't, so no, you don't really have to listen to anything I say. That's just a general disclaimer I should put before everything I ever post, is that you don't really have to listen to anything I say. So, like, take everything with a grain of salt. If you cannot see the forehead, then you've done too much. Where was I gonna go? Okay. Hair. Back to hair details. Do another layer for this silky fabric. I should have been more sure. Okay, that makes way more sense. I would just say nightmare monsters. That makes it a easier idea to convey. That makes more sense, and I feel like that's a lot safer route than what I thought you meant before. That's not the color I wanted. I wanted this color. Yes. Hee hee hee. Yeah, no problem. I need to take a drink of water. I've been talking for like an hour. Oh, jeez, I didn't plug in my laptop. I just looked up and noticed my laptop was at 10%. Woo. Yeah, I have nightmare monsters. Similar. Designing characters' clothes can be kind of hard. In fact, I feel like that's the hardest thing for me to design. I follow on social media a lot of like fashion blogs, especially historical fashion. Because if it's like modern fashion, I feel like I can figure it out a lot easier than if I'm thinking about like historical or fantasy stuff. So I follow a lot of historical fashion blogs, a lot of like fantasy fashion blogs, or historical fantasy, you know, that kind of thing. Because that's my jam, but it's also like the hardest to come up with designs that feel like they make sense. So it really depends on the characters and what setting they're in. Because I have some characters in modern settings that wear modern clothes, and they are so much easier for me to design than my characters in fantasy settings. Like this, her outfit design, I took like 4 hours while I was in class to just sketch out all the different iterations I could think of. And that's another thing that really helps when you're coming up with outfit designs, is to do a lot of iterations of the same characters, like of the same outfits. Think of how many different like details you can change about it and see how that affects the overall design. And eventually, because like before she had like shoulder things and then more straps coming a different way instead of just this way is a lot simpler and has it still connecting. Yeah. And then sometimes it can be as simple as a really ratty blanket that this dude has pinned over his chest as a makeshift robe / hood. Like this guy. But yeah, outfits are hard to design, but they're also like really fun to design. Because they tell so much about a character, more than just like hair and like facial details, although those are important and I'm not knocking them in any way. I just feel like from a distance, what a character is wearing and how they wear it is really important, way more important than any other detail. It can be the fastest way for someone to understand like what the character is and what they represent and that kind of thing, you know? And it's just fun to look at fashion blogs. Seriously, I follow like 4 different high fashion blogs, like runway fashion. And then there's some blogs with like street fashion that I follow or used to follow. I'm not sure if I still follow them. And then blogs from fashion from like TV shows and stuff. They're the best. And then there's always like Pinterest and stuff. Seriously, as an artist, having Pinterest is a good idea. Because you can really use it as like references for fashion. You can make boards for each character. Hey, hi from Malaysia, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Go have fun in physics. Bye. Should have picked a better brush. This one isn't super opaque. It takes like 3 or 4 layers to get a good build-up of color, which is fine at the edges, but not so fine in the middle of a flat color I want to put down. I don't know. Oh well. But woo, this is almost done. I just need to do. Yeah, I would definitely recommend having like a Pinterest, or just like if you're on Tumblr or Twitter or something, just find someone that posts fashion stuff and follow them, because it is really helpful if you're stuck on a character design but you know like roughly what kind of feeling you want them to have. Find a fashion blog that fits that aesthetic and scroll through it until you can find something that fits. It is way helpful. Okay, I think that works for flat colors. Now to combine all of them. Wait, no. Ah, my shift button is stuck. There we go. It does that a lot now. My like my shift button and my command and alt key and my control key too, they'll get stuck. Yeah, making like mood boards or collages, that'll definitely help. I wanted some of this green easier to, yeah. Whoops, not what I meant to do. Oh no. There. Okay. Yeah, I love it a lot too. I need to finish playing Undertale. I downloaded it back in like 2015, you know, when it came out. And I got stuck at Miss Moffat's fight, and I fought her like 8 times, and I couldn't beat her. I was trying to do a pacifist one, so I couldn't beat her. And I kind of quit. Okay, Blake, literally, of all the people judging me for playing Undertale and not beating it, you cannot be one of those people. Oh, hush, sir. I know where you live, man. What was I gonna do? Tell me what I was gonna do. Crap. It's on the wrong layer mode. There we go. I know, and
guess who ate the spider donut immediately after getting it because I almost died. I'm really bad at video games that aren't Pokemon or Animal Crossing. So yeah, I got into a fight, I think, with like a frog right after buying the spider donut. And I needed to use it to not die. So then when I got to the fight and I was like looking up ways to get good, it was like, oh, you just need to use the spider donut. And I was like, well, I don't want to restart the whole game just to get a spider donut. So I was like, I'm screwed. Yeah, so that's basically when I like rage quit. And I was like, you know what? I'll come back to it later. And I never did. So yeah, that concludes my story on how I suck at any video game that isn't Pokemon or Animal Crossing. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I got a couple of video games for Christmas that I actually want to play. So, I don't know, maybe over summer break or something. Maybe I might get a job that'll be like a really long commute on the weekends, and I might just play video games on that commute. So maybe that's when I'll learn to get good at video games. Because right now I certainly am not. Well, that's what I forgot to do. Oh, I only have New Leaf, so I can't speak for any of the older games. But Animal Crossing is so good, and I love Pocket Camp, even though it doesn't hold up to like the original games as much. And New Leaf is still my favorite, but like, I don't know, just having Pocket Camp on my phone makes it so much easier. And I'm more inclined to play it. I don't know, I haven't played anything on my DS in a while. I want to get back into playing video games more. Which, as I'm going to be a full-time student this upcoming semester in like a week, I should not be saying that. I should be saying, I'm only going to focus on my homework. But instead I'm like, oh, alright, I'm going to play video games. Okay, so that's all for this layer. Time for some shadows. Usually first an overlay. Did I want? Yes, I wanted this. He's going to later. Don't worry, he will get his freckles. They're just... my command button's stuck in. They're coming. Don't worry about it. It's just harder to paint over them, and I'm not sure if I want to paint over them yet, so I'm saving all the finicky little details like that until I decide if I want to actually do any painting. No, this would be a bigger brush. So I want the light to be coming from... Wait, I've already got a gradient in the background telling you where the light's coming from. There might be, and if there is, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't really know if there's an echo in the stream, and if there is, I'm so sorry. And I will try to fix it. Maybe if I do that, maybe that'll help. Ah, now I don't have the pop-up anymore. There we go. Does that make it better? Aw, bye. What's the shouting for? Okay. I got very confused for a second. Okay, I'll make sure to check next time I stream not to have all 3 of those things turned on. Sorry about that, and I'm glad I made it better now. I want an even bigger brush. Even bigger! Yeah, they removed it. Sorry about that. I should have realized when I was playing that music, I was like, I should have been like, oh, they're gonna get mad at me for that. But I didn't think of it until I saw the notification, and I went, whoops. So, sorry about that. I've made sure this time to get I made a speed paint playlist, stream playlist specifically for things that I am definitely okay to play while streaming and I won't get in trouble for it. So, yeah, it might be a little boring sometimes. Sorry, but I thought it would be better to have slightly boring music than to have all my videos taken down. So, yeah. Very rough shadows in. So I'm going to do mostly the whole thing in shadows and then I can take out the highlights. That's probably easier. Here's a trick for underwater scenes. They almost always have warm shadow, cool light. So if you want to draw an underwater scene and something's just not feeling right, do some warmer shadows and slap some warmer highlights on there. Well, don't just slap them on, but like use warmer ones and it'll make it feel a lot more realistic. Yeah, there to be light from here. A little bit from here. Okay. Yeah, if I mutter and you're like, what is she muttering about? It's probably me just talking to myself about what I want to draw. Because I do that a lot. I'm going to lower this and then do a lighter one. And with a super huge brush, and do some reflected shadows. Especially on his arms, in his face, because it's going to reflect off of her face and give him some lightness in there. And there's going to be reflected light on her back. Not that much, I should move it. So. Some under her hair. And her face. Yeah. Reflected light is real fun to play with. I highly recommend it. And like under here will be darker. Oops. Okay, good. I just saved it. I was like, oh no, I haven't saved it. And I was like, oh yeah, I literally just pressed the save button. Okay, now for some cool lights. And I won't be too careful about where I'm lighting them, because this is just concept art. So it doesn't have to look perfect. As long as I get the general gist of what is going on. I don't wanna... I'm gonna take a huge eraser. Just back it out. And, I'm pretty satisfied with how this is going. Yeah, that looks bad. This looks good. Okay. What I'm gonna do the big eraser here. Actually. Let's maybe this one. Yeah, I'm not sure if I actually use this music on any of my videos. It's one of those copyright-free ones though, so if I wanted to, I definitely could. I just can't. I don't like using the same music twice. So if I haven't used this, I probably could. If I have used this, I probably won't anymore. Just because, I don't know. There are some like channels that do the same music every time. And I mean, that's totally their right to do, but I don't know, I don't like it as much. I prefer to have each project be kind of its own thing, you know? Let's do some normal so I can quick color grab. It looks really scary when I do it like this. But, there we go. Oh, that's not the one that needed fixing. It's this one that needs fixing. There we go. It was a temperature problem, not a color problem. There we go. I fixed it. Okay, so now is the time to decide. Come on. I smushed them all together now. There's no going back. Okay, so now I gotta decide, do I want to paint this? Or do I want to just kind of like add some finishing details and leave it as it is? But first I gotta stretch. Oh. I just found a new bruise on my knee, and I'm not sure what it's from, but it looks and feels very painful. So that's a new exciting discovery. So what do you guys think? Should I paint this and make it look slightly more finished, or should I just kind of like do some tiny little detail fixings and then leave it at that? And I just realized there's like a minute lag. So I'll take a drink while I wait for y'all's reply. Yes, those are going to be one of the details in there. The freckles are happening either way. Just shaking out. Good choice. I like your choice, and I'm going with that one. Okay. Thank you. Oh, I forgot his gills. Duh. That's important. He needs those to breathe. I'm not stupid. There we go. Now he can breathe underwater. My boy won't drown. Alright, I think I can call this done. Now I'm going to recolor his eyes because they are not the right color. There we go. That helps. It took a lot of time and practice. I can tell you that right off the bat. I really took a lot of inspiration from like shows that I saw at the time. I'm gonna add some this color. I take a lot of influence from Ghibli, especially, well, Ghibli, I guess is the right way to pronounce it, although I still feel bitter about that. What was I gonna say? Yeah, especially for backgrounds, I take a lot of inspiration from Ghibli and settings. I just love all of those settings. Yeah, mostly it's about where I took inspiration and just me stealing the parts that I like the most from those things and then kind of mushing them all together and saying, this is mine now. Which is really what any art style is about. It's just cherry picking the best things and the things you like the most about other people's art styles and then making it your own. So yeah, especially like the other day when I was sketching, I realized it looks a lot like Gigi DG's art. I can never say her username, their username. I don't know their gender. Anyway, their username out loud because it's really hard for me to pronounce. But yeah, just well, not with Gethin, but with Agnes's sketches. Like, especially this one. Looks very Cucumber Quest-esque to me. So yeah, really I just mishmash the things I like the most about other people's styles. And then it kind of became this amalgamation of my own. And somehow I fooled you all into thinking I'm a good artist. Okay, so that's this thing done. And I am calling it here and saying that this is a good piece of concept art. Not quite. I want to add some more detail to it really quick. I want to make... Come on. Large brush size. Larger particle size. And do... well, art program actually doesn't do that much for style. It's different than like traditional media that like once you figure out like what traditional media you like, you're kind of like there's only so many options you can choose from. But with digital, it's way more, there's so many more tools for you to use. Yeah, I like this a lot more. And I'm also going to blur it. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to selectively erase this one because it gets in the way. Yeah, art program doesn't have too much to do in the whole style debate. It has a little bit, but not a lot. It's more about how you use the tools that you have at hand rather than what tools you have, if you know what I mean. Which I've just learned more and more as I've taken different classes. Yeah, I like this effect a lot more. Like especially this last semester, I just got out of taking media experimentation, which was all about learning different tips and tricks for being, for using different mediums and getting different effects from those different mediums. So it really does like affect. You can do a lot more than you think you can, you know? It's not just I'm stuck with this one style because I'm using pen and ink, you know? I don't know, I'm just trying to be encouraging, and it's not quite working out as well as I was hoping. I might be going overboard with, whoa, that one got big. I'm again going to selectively edit out some of these. Okay, the rest are good. I'm gonna stop now before I do too much. Yeah, here are some of the other sketches I've done, and I'm almost done with this page. A lot of these are sketches that I did for class. In fact, almost all of these. Yeah, I was talking about this earlier, but I definitely like Clip Studio Paint more than Paint Tool Sai. Whoa, I just realized how small this one is. But, you know, that's fine. Take a quick screenshot. I'm lazy and I just take screenshots of my of my sketches if I want to post them individually instead of like copying and pasting them into another file. Because yeah, I don't feel like putting more effort into that. Yeah, it's a lot faster. And what can I say? I like making things a lot easier. Yeah, I cannot sing the praises about Clip Studio Paint enough. I love it so much. What to draw now? Saving this for a little bit later. I still want to be working on concept art for Agnes, so I gotta think. What needs consecting? That sounds bad. I should do probably like another half hour of streaming, I'd say, and then I'll have to call it quits, but I think we still got time for another good amount of doodling. Oh, I know that feeling. Oh, I get bad stage fright sometimes, especially the first time I streamed and no one came, so it didn't even matter that it didn't have stage fright, but if I did or not, because nobody came to see me just stammer at my screen. So, like, really don't worry about it, just like draw, and it doesn't even matter. I think, okay, I know what I'm gonna design. Yeah, I'm gonna do it on this page, because there's a whole lot of blank space in here. So I need to draw a dad. But like really loosely, because I don't want to nail myself into anything, you know? This is concept art, so it doesn't need to be super like stiff or anything. Just needs to have family resemblance to Agnes. That's all he needs. I'm trying to be loose and fast here because I don't want to spend too much time on a design that I might not work, that I might not like. You know? Yeah, Agnes's dad doesn't actually show up that much. No, it's fine. It's good to have people asking questions so I actually have like something to talk about when I'm streaming. So feel free to ask like any questions. As long as I can like ostensibly answer it, it's all good. I mean, I've always had like people like passing me by while I draw be like, oh, it's so good and all that. But like I didn't actually get a good online following until I would say in 2015 is when it really started to take off. That's when my Gemsona video just exploded and like startled me into thinking, oh, okay, people actually like fan art. So yeah, basically every time I post relatively good fan art of something that's relatively popular, that's when I get a lot of attention from people online, which I kind of don't like. I don't like that that's how it is, you know, that you don't get followed online unless you do fan art, but then like you won't get hired unless you have original ideas. So it's like, gosh dang it, which one do I want more? A huge following so that I get people to buy my fan art, or like a job. I kind of like this concept. I don't know, I'm kind of seeing dude with glasses. So this is 1. It's good to have numbers when you're sketching stuff like this so that you can, if you ask people, you're like 1, 2, or 3, and then they can tell you. Yeah, I think the first time I got a huge influx of like subscribers and followers was right after my first Gemsona video, which just exploded. Oh, I love Inuyasha. That is my first manga. It's definitely very nostalgic for me. And I love it so much. It's not the best, but it's still very good and very nostalgic. And every like year, more or less, I get on a big Inuyasha kick and I want to like reread the whole thing and draw more fan art. I'm gonna rotate this dad head so it's less like he's leaning condescendingly. There we go. Now he's just a tired man. Yeah, I think technically Pokemon is my first anime, but like I was watching Pokemon before I knew what anime was, so I don't really count it. I count Inuyasha as my first manga and then Oran as my first anime. Yeah, I feel like Inuyasha is definitely furry bait, or at least furry pandering. Oh yeah. I originally watched Inuyasha on Netflix right after I finished reading it. Actually, no, I didn't finish reading it. I read up to book 5 because that's what my mom bought for me when I was 13. She bought me books 1 through 5. And then, let's see. And then I watched it on Netflix, and I fell in love even more than I already liked it. I love the anime a lot. And I watched it, and then in high school, I read the manga all the way through. And I love it. I love it so much. I love it a lot. I'm I'm gonna give her dad glasses. Let's see if that works. Glasses and pointy nose? Or glasses and old nose? Who knows? Ha 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 ha. I made a pun and I hate it. Wow, you know what? I feel like I might just stick with number 1, because number 2 just does not compare. It's not good. You know what? Who needs a number 2? I'm gonna stick with number 1. I like this look. It looks like the kind of guy I need him to be for the story. Yeah, Inuyasha is almost certainly like just furry bait. If not like on purpose, it definitely had that effect. But I kind of feel like it was on purpose. His whole side of his face is kind of drooping, so I'm gonna move it. There. Now his eyes look too close together. Gosh dang it. There we go. Nice. Now to sketch him more. Oh, that whole side of his face just went. Yeah, there's not that many. Not compared to like more recent ones. And you know, I totally understand that because Inuyasha is like 20 years old now. But I was still kind of expecting to see more. Like you see a lot of like Sailor Moon speed paints, but not as many Inuyasha ones. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that's kind of a niche market there. Very, very small market. He's truly a remarkable nondescript man that I'm making here. But that's fine. I don't need him to be a hot dad. He's a hot dad in his own right. I feel uncomfortable now. I'm giving him too much of a family resemblance with his daughter. Bye. Yeah, I feel like this is a good design. He's just a man trying to reconnect with his daughter. Yeah, I feel like with Inuyasha it's different because it is slightly older, and like One Piece is actually, it's like 20 years old now, so it's a little bit younger than Inuyasha, but like it's still ongoing, whereas Inuyasha is very much done, and it's been done since like 2007. So like the fan base has had time to die out and move on to other things that they like more, you know? And honestly, I can't account for Soul Eater. I liked the anime when I was like 15, but now I'm kind of like, meh, meh. It's a nostalgia thing, that's for sure. I definitely loved it in high school. Yeah, I'm really coming to love this old man. He is a good dad so far. And he only wears button-ups. Because I don't know what kind of shirts older men wear. Actually, I've gotten better about it, but when I was in high school, I was like, men over 40 all wear sweater vests, right? Now I kind of know more about like what people wear. I had no clue when I was in high school. Yeah, One Piece is certainly very popular. Yeah, I just feel like the Inuyasha fans have just like moved on. Like they found something that's current that they like. Like they still like Inuyasha for the most part, I'm sure, but like many of them are like have gone on to things that are still going and that still have very active fan groups. Although I don't know how active the Inuyasha fandom is. I personally try not to associate myself with fandoms because I just don't like it. I like the thing, not the culture surrounding the thing usually. Anyway, so I have no idea what nonsense the Inuyasha fandom is up to. Do I like his ears sticking out? I'm gonna... There we go. Flipping the canvas is so handy. Definitely do it. When you think you're done drawing a face, definitely flip the canvas and make sure, because there's almost always something wrong with it. Look at that circle. I drew a circle so well. Holy crap. That like never happens. Yeah, yeah. I feel like anything from like 2007, especially when so many of us, it was like integral to our growing up, that I'm sure everyone does something on anniversaries. Yep, I definitely love Danny Phantom. Although I kind of quelled that because I was embarrassed to admit that I had a huge crush on him. Yeah. His eye doesn't feel right. There we go. Could place those brows. Oh yeah, my my sister got me into Oron. Um, so I kind of blame her for my whole anime phase. Um, I got her into Princess Tutu, so I think she can blame me. And then she got me to watch Avatar with her, which I thank her for, because that's still one of my favorite shows of all time. I need to come up with a name for this dude. Yeah, if I need a perfect circle, I'll definitely use the tool for it. But I don't know, sometimes I just sketch the perfect circle and I'm like, holy moly, look at that. I'm amazing. Ooh yeah, I like this look a lot better. Let's give him salt and pepper. I just realized this looks like a very sad Justin McElroy. Especially the side angle one. This guy just has too much to bear right now. He's having a very hard life. Ooh, I need to design his wife now, although she'll also have a very small role. But first I should sketch out his body type. So I'll have it for reference. I'm gonna give him, a normal dad bod. Oh, I'm sure everyone did, especially if they're in the 14 and under group. I'm sure everyone did. Or at the very least had a crush on Sam. Hands. Sticky out ears. Yeah, this guy's total dad bod. Yeah, I feel like that's a good rough for his body. And then his wife. Well, that's what happens when you have the same creator with like an iconic art style. Yeah, they have basically the same hairstyle, except Timmy wears a hat. That's like the only difference. Yeah, Butch Hartman designed both of them. I feel like it could have used a little more realism. I think his style is really good when it comes to like character design, but when it comes to executing those designs, I feel like that style didn't suit some of the themes Danny Phantom was going for, you know? Nice. Yeah, I like this design for her mom as well. Yeah, okay, I think I'm gonna call the stream here. Just because it's 10:15, so I've already been streaming for like 2 hours. And I do need to go to bed before too soon. So yeah, I'm gonna call it here. Say this is the end of the stream. I'll probably stream tomorrow, and probably I'll be able to stream for like the next 4 days, I think, because I'm on break and I have like nothing else to do. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for coming and watching my stream. Hopefully this will not get copyright claimed like my other ones. Thank you. Thank you for coming. See you later. Bye-bye. And I should have timed that so I'd say goodbye when I'm ending the stream.